as the bandit begins to just beat cheeks into the woods, you are all left kind of panting, nursing your wounds. As you see Tamor kind of ride up on his dog. You see the dog has blood dripping from his face, and Tamor is holding a short spear to one side with blood on the end of it as well. You see Valrus, the orc, kind of swing this battle axe, and blood splashes to the ground as she looks around as well, kind of surveying the area. Tamor calls out, and he says, "Is everyone all right? Did we lose anyone?" "All thanks to me."
Or I sheathe my sword.
As you, Ragnar, as you turn it, kind of like seeing the bandit scamper into the woods like a rabbit, you kind of turn towards the caravan, and Valrus, as she swings the blood off her axe, she looks at you and gives you one of these.
Yeah, I'd be out of my rage as well.
Does that knock you out?
No. I have one.
So as you're like, oh, and you begin. Tamor rides up to you on his dog, just as he gets up next to you, and he says, "Are you all right?"
I believe so. What happened?
"We were attacked by bandits. You were there. That was you. And that was you. That one in the tree, that was you."
The Mario.
Yeah.
Since you look
That
so
was.
rough, I'm gonna walk up to you, slap you on the thigh, because that's probably about the highest I could reach, and heal you for
You're underestimating your jump.
2 points.
It's Tuesday, let me tell you.
Can't believe I used the spell for that.
It's okay.
It's obsidian.
It happens.
That didn't feel too good.
Two.
If I ever do hit him with like high damage, it's going to be like 22 or something.
I can only hope.
Your wounds like stop bleeding, but they're still very present.
Oh yeah, I have 3 hit points.
Tamor says, "We're still the better part of a day's journey from the nearest rest stop." He says, "And you need healing." He says, "Is anyone else hurt?" He turns and looks at you, and you see like confusion on his face as he like, and he looks around. Valrus, she walks up, looks at him, was a kid, and she just nodded. "Excuse me, young man," he says as he rides up. "Are you okay?"
I'm confused. Lost. But mostly confused. Are you guys heading to Haldren?
He says,
Or
"Actually, we're on our way to Drimport, which is just west of Haldren."
you wouldn't have room for me, would you?
"Of course. Are your parents nearby?"
I don't know where my father is.
He kind of like looks at Valrus. Valrus kind of like, she walks up. She is very intimidating and towering. She touches your shoulder, and it is surprisingly comforting as she looks down at you with these like gentle eyes, and she gives you one of these.
And I just kind of like, with the touch of, care, my eyes just start balling up again and just kind of sink into her.
Mm-hmm. She takes you, and like without hesitation, she just like pulls you in and like cradles your head as you, I assume, begin to gently sob. Yeah. Like you've been trying to hold this back this whole time, and everything has just been dumped on you in the last 20 minutes. Tamor is the opposite of her reaction. He clearly doesn't know how to handle you. It's like, I would...
Right.
He goes, "This helps Kane." And he begins to pet you gently.
Tamor, we need to find out what happened with Kava.
Says, "Well, I assumed," he like trots over to her body. "I assume it was the bandits.
It was not the bandits.
It's like, no, she was dead before they got here.
What do you mean it wasn't bad?
Where's Mina?
He kind of scans the caravan. He says, Mina! He calls out. Mina! I scarcely noticed she was gone. She hasn't said much the entire journey.
Who says who last session said she was poisoned? Or was she
I had determined that she had been poisoned, but I
Right.
don't
By
know.
what, though? We didn't know.
So,
Poison.
I don't mean to interrupt, but is there anyone who could do something about this? I've got 2 crossbow bolts in me. I'm
Oh
4
gosh.
out of 10.
I could attempt to heal.
DC
I
50.
Like some of your healing is pulling them out.
That's only
Or
I can tell
to,
you the exact
to
DC.
dress the wound.
Do-do-do-do.
You trust me. You're very foolish. 9.
Cool. So he reaches over, and you don't have to say stop. Your reaction very much tells him to stop, but you do say stop anyway. As he gives them like a little bit of that, you know, you're just like, and you begin to kind of fold from it.
You know,
I
like
just thought that
pulling a staple from a thumb.
a paladin would make this all better. Actually, I don't know if he's a paladin.
I don't think he is that.
step aside. You need a little bit of elbow grease with that. Oh.
We'll take a turn here.
It's just like looking at the
By the way,
crossbow.
Nat 1 is going to do 1d4 points of damage and start bleeding.
It did not. It was a 13.
13?
Yeah.
DC 50.
I rolled really low.
I was just looking this up.
They just can't dislodge these 2 crossbow bolts.
And move on with my life.
So he grabs it, he puts his little flipper like against your stomach, and it's just like, man, that is in there. I like how we're casually playing off that you have missiles sticking out of you, like these projectiles.
Next one is hold those over a barbecue.
What?
Or a barbecue.
Where's Luna?
Luna has not left. I am terrible with names.
Kava.
Kava's side.
Is the plant with her?
So you go to look for the plant?
Yeah.
I too am looking for that.
I'm so terrible with names, I went to write her name down on the paper, only to realize I wrote it right next to her name. Already written on the paper. As you walk over to Kava's body, Luna has been guarding it this entire battle. She's standing over it, and she watched everything happen. But once the threat had died down, Luna continues to do that thing where she circles Kava's body over and over. As you look for Kava's belongings, you see a pot with a stem sticking out of it. The veins of the leaf extend out with only bits of the leaf left remaining on it. Most of the plant is completely gone.
Is the egg there?
When you look, you see a caterpillar about the size of a human thumb. It is this cosmic blue, black, and purple mixture. If someone is to ask you which of those 3 colors it was, you're like, it's not all of them, and it's not any one of them. It's a strange color, and every time the caterpillar does that thing where it undulates as it moves, it seems that color flows through it as it begins to crawl around the rim of the pot that the plant is planted in.
I was thinking it.
No, I'm not
going
gonna do
I
it.
didn't say anything about that, guys.
No, I'm not doing it.
I squat down and I put my finger out by it.
So, the caterpillar begins... What's your alignment, by the way?
Oh gosh.
Uh-oh.
Right now it's neutral good.
Neutral good?
Yeah.
The caterpillar begins to slowly move itself onto your finger.
It tickles, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
So I gotta hold up and inspect it.
Very plump, interesting caterpillar.
Wolf head.
Did this come from the plant?
It did, yes.
What is it?
It's a caterpillar.
It's a caterpillar, but I mean,
Knowledge nature on exactly what type of caterpillar. I don't tell him, by the way.
Knowledge the plants.
Oh shoot, nice stuff. Definitely don't tell him.
I rolled a 4.
I did roll a 5.
Nice!
It's
a caterpillar.
Yes, caterpillar.
so I'm just kind of rolling around and looking at it. I stroke the fuzz, the furry, the light blue furry.
It doesn't have the fuzz.
It is not as fuzzy as you would imagine.
Oh,
Yes.
Is it more grub-like?
Imagine like a lunar moth caterpillar. It's kind of like that.
oh, okay. I put it back down on the pot, the plant for the whatever the potted plant pot, and I pick up the pot with the
pot.
plant, the whole thing.
The pot plant.
Shut up. I can't describe it without saying potted plant anymore. The remains of the particular plant.
That happens to be enough.
I'm like, well, I don't know why she wanted this protected, but I don't know what to do with it now.
Wasn't is there a group of Desnian followers in Dremport?
I'm sure we can find some.
Well, you were taking her there. Do you?
Do you have knowledge local?
No, I don't.
You may, yes. You are from Drimport, and you can get a 10 on it. So because you're from Drimport, I will give you a bonus to that.
Yeah, I rolled a 15.
Very nice.
Unit 12.
12. You know that there is a Desnian congregation in Drimport. You know precisely where it is. It's not very large because typically Desnians don't have a fixed temple or anything like that. They'd rather like travel. However, it is a place for Desnian travelers to come and to rest and to share experiences and things like that. So it is more a location than any like specific edifice or anything.
Well, as I'm standing there holding what was left of her charge, I look down at Kava's body and I say, I'll do what I can for it. I'm sorry it turned out this way, but I'll do what you asked. And I walk back toward the wagon.
Luna begins to whine gently.
I don't acknowledge it.
So, not to throw a wrench in everything,
Yes.
I just want to check in that conversation that I had with her. Was that everybody who was involved in that, or was that just me and her?
It is you and her.
When she asked, so is that public knowledge for everyone that the plant is trying to be protected?
No, that's
But
only
she
you.
did ask Damon as well.
She asked Damon as well. Okay.
But Damon
making
doesn't
sure.
know that she asked you.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're both looking at each other like,
This is both of our charge.
And I'm just acting as if I'm the sole caretaker of it now.
Also, sorry, I apologize.
No.
Real quick. You would know, having an animal companion yourself, that Luna, with the exception of being watched over by Kava, is a wild animal.
Yeah.
It's not an animal. An animal companion isn't something that anyone can just adopt and take care of. Luna will stay with Kava, like wherever her body goes, for a period of time before Luna moves on.
Okay.
So that may be why she didn't ask anybody to take care of Luna during that time. She had more faith in Luna taking care of herself. A caterpillar, though, is a little less defended.
yeah. I look at Damon. How far out? Well, I asked the group in general. How far out are we from Dremport at this point?
Drimport. Tamor says a couple of days. Says rest stop, though. Should get there this evening.
Can we bring her body with us?
Absolutely. Says we will load her into the wagon. Says because you knew her best. Would you like to help?
Yes.
That's why he said help.
Yes.
Instead of
I
do
would.
it.
I would like to help. And then I look at Rayato and I like, you're gonna help too.
Do not bite. Velrus and Omar step off because they are the ones escorting the caravan, or they are the caravan leaders. They kind of take the responsibility to kind of prepare her for the travel into the rest stop. They respectfully and reverently load her into the back of the caravan with her belongings. Luna jumps up in there and lays down next to her. Omar has this very kind of like solemn expression on his face, which is rare for him.
Who are you?
My name's Perry.
Cool. We have a child. We must protect him at all cost.
You see a raptor walk up to you. You've only seen pictures of them in books, and they are not from this area. As it steps up to you and it begins to examine you just very curiously.
As I ask the frogman.
Griefly do exist on the
Yeah,
pod.
I
You
know,
what a
I
griefly
know. I'm
is,
just
yeah.
like, is he going? Is he gonna hurt me?
Not today.
It gets like, imagine a puppy, how a puppy
Yeah.
like gets right up and starts smelling you. It starts doing that.
I'm like,
It leans back away from your hand, looking like side eye at it, like a bird would.
and then I go,
It starts to clap its jaws together,
okay.
and then it starts getting up in your biz again.
You're fine.
Okay.
He's fine. He's fine.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
Okay.
Bella
Just-
sits down and says, "Would you like to ride in the wagon?"
Normally I'd say yes.
She kind of thinks for a moment. Would you like to sit beside Omar?
Oh, yes, that'd be good.
She walks you up to the wagon and she holds out a hand.
I'd
and
use
assists
it
you
and
up.
step up.
Omar sits up next to you. The wagon kind of shifts under his weight. He looks from side to side as he reaches into a bag and he produces a piece of candy.
Really? Okay.
Taking candy from strangers, huh?
Immediately.
In his
And
defense,
this is why we don't send
He just
children
got told-
out alone.
he just got teleported from his dad's castle to a middle of a fight scene. He's gone through a lot today.
Also, one of his only friends was a portly dwarf.
True.
Who
And
he
I
saw die
did-
before his eyes.
And I did accept treats from him, too.
Um,
I will kind of get Robbie out of, or ask for Robbie to come out and just kind of play with him. And
Robbie has been nestled in the satchel this whole time. As you like go to pick him up, you've seen Robbie be very attentive, which is something like typically animals don't do. And you always thought there was just something special about Robbie. When you take him out of the bag, he simultaneously is a solid and a liquid. As he begins to like examine his surroundings and begins to squirm, you want to pet him, but he has no interest in staying in your hands.
Yeah.
It seems he's more comfortable in that satchel.
okay, well, I'll let him do whatever he does.
He gets into the satchel and you just kind of hear him like sniffing and playing around as he begins to like squirm and like rummage through all this stuff in there.
Cuts himself on the dagger.
Comes out with it in his teeth.
It's probably more effective.
This is my stab ferret.
That's terrifying.
I cast ferret.
That is absolutely terrifying.
My summons a ferret
With a dagger.
with a dagger.
I would like the group to roll me a perception check.
Oh, I am made of not very much perception.
Derek,
Except
roll
for
Roll me a
perception check.
perception check.
Roger.
No,
Roger.
perception check, not Roger check.
14.
One for me, and if you're interested in Rayato, it's 13. But one for me.
15.
Okay.
20.
Oh,
Cool. So
18 if you wanted to know.
So you two hear the guards talking amongst themselves. You hear them talking about how these,
Excuse me.
they start to talk about how they believe that these bandits were probably sent from up north. You hear the name Cabrin is brought up. They believe that maybe these bandits had come from Cabrin. And you can roll sense motive if you'd like.
I do because
Same with
at
you.
this point these guards are still I'm still wondering why they're here.
22. 6.
With a 6, you hear that and begin to like suspect they know something you don't. With a 22, you know they are just developing rumors. They have no idea, but they are just convinced that that is the case.
Without any sort of
Right.
evidence.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you know that is all just hearsay. Can we turn that AC down just a touch?
What do I know about Cabrin?
Smojins.
Cabrin is the largest city of Ambros.
Okay.
It is farther south, and it is right on the Haldren Kingdom's border. So if Haldren were to like move up north, they would have to go through Cabrin.
Is that where he came from?
No. But you don't know where he came from.
True.
Yeah, you have no idea.
That's why I said no.
It was more of a Derek curiosity.
Right. You said nat 1?
Oh yeah.
Oh, fun. So with your nat 1 perception check, you begin to kind of like look around and listen to everything. Tamor begins like rushing up to... You good? He rushes up to the head of the wagon. He looks to Valrus, right? And he says, "We're lucky to be alive. You've done well today." He says, "A lot of these people would be dead without you." You hear, "The bandits have failed us. You should have helped kill them. Now we have to do something when we get there."
Oh no. Can I roll a sense motive on that?
Sure.
Okay.
So help me, never know another nat 1.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Secondary nat 1.
It's a 20, not natural.
You see that and you're like, "Oh." He didn't say that.
Oh my.
That would good.
So
Weird.
the caravan in this very like mix of excitement of the battle that just happened and kind of solemn quiet for the person that had died and the gore that they had witnessed begins to slowly continue down the trail. It will be most of the day before you reach the rest point. Do you do anything during that time? Also, you have the caterpillar?
I do.
I am always watching that caterpillar. Like, and it's probably not super. I don't know. My stealth is pretty good.
But it's not out of hunger.
Was the people
No, it's
that
not.
died able to be looted, as in just their weapons?
They could be.
Okay. I'm gonna grab those and just put them into the caravan,
Okay.
just in general.
As you do that, you like the caravan's getting everything ready, and you begin to
Sift through the gore.
sift through the gore.
Through the filet o bandit.
You made the gore.
I know, but still.
We can't all reach the gore.
A blood raging barbarian that's afraid of blood.
I was like, what are you talking about?
It's in the trees, man.
It's in my
You get 2 light crossbows,
4 scimitars?
What about light sabers?
you get
Why?
you get 6 sets of medium leather armor. I'm sorry, 8 sets of medium. Let's turn that 6.
Yeah.
You get 6 scimitars,
People are gonna think
Two
that's how you
daggers.
actually think that's.
I see no lightsaber. I see.
a psionic spirit blade, and 8 gold pieces.
Like,
A shotgun. Those are going in the box.
As you begin to like go through that, Omar is helping you loot and load things. When you take the gold, you see Omar like side eye you as you start to put that in your pouch.
You're welcome. And I walk away.
He just watches.
He didn't say anything.
Can I roll all of this having a knowledge local to try to recall the name of the Lord Mayor that I'm looking for? Using my knowledge of Dremport.
You don't have to roll. I can just
You
tell
can just
you.
tell
because,
me.
Yeah, because you are familiar with him.
Okay, what's his name? Hawthorne?
Hawthorne.
Okay.
High Mayor Hawthorne. If you would like, though, I can tell you more about High Mayor Hawthorne.
Yes.
How often is he high?
All the time.
All...
Only when he's mayor.
It's how you get that title. When he's not high, he becomes sober Mayor Hawthorne. He's not as fun.
What'd you get?
Yes. Is that a 7 or 1?
That's a 7.
15.
You got weird dice, man.
15? So you do know that Lord Mayor Hawthorne has been the Lord Mayor of Drimport for almost a century. He is an elf, and he has birthed probably he has sired 24 half-elves with several different humans. None of them he has taken for like an actual wife, and they have buried in interest to him, but that is neither here nor there.
Okay.
These half-elves, you do know that you have seen them before. Some of them have visited Ambros. You have dealt with them, you have spoken with them, and so High Mayor Hawthorne is a very well-known name. However, he has changed his last name. You do know that's not his actual last name. He changed his name to Hawthorne to make the humans, which are the majority of the population, more comfortable with an elf being in charge. His real name is Sevetril.
Okay. And I would be somewhat familiar with where to locate him.
You do know that there are 3 islands and a major city. One of the islands is kind of populated by the higher ups, and that does include any governmental,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, locations, and so he would typically be there during the days, but you don't know if he lives there.
Gotcha. Okay. I might chat it up with Omar and kind of see why they're going to Drimport a little bit here.
So Omar would kind of, explain to you. He's like, "Well, this is our job."
Yeah, but why Drimport?
Well, Drimport is a major trade city. He said, so it's common for us to carry any passersby that want to get there safely. He looks back. Relative safety.
And you charge for this?
Of course. We gotta eat.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I have any money.
He says, for the most part of a day, we won't charge you. We'll make an exception.
Okay. And you normally have guards from Haldren with you?
No. That's new. How did you know they were from Haldren? He says.
Well, their insignias are from that of Haldren. Doesn't everybody know that?
No.
What's
We don't.
Haldren?
Oh.
You've got some explaining to
He
do.
says, well, you seem to be educated.
Yes, my father thought it was very important for me to study and learn as much as possible.
Well, rightfully so. I think most everyone should be educated and learn a little bit. Like manners,
Or bathing.
how to share.
Yes, or bathing.
Say it louder for the ones
Not
that
you.
How to shower?
What is the shower you speak?
Where are you from?
That question broke him.
Don't know if I've ever. From
Are you struggling with the name?
No.
Okay.
He
He's
knows.
struggling with evasion.
sense motive to see if you're genuinely curious or. I mean, I know it's on a player, but
He's gonna preempt sense motive.
Are you
thing.
bluffing?
Bluff.
It's suspicion.
suspicion.
You appeared out of nowhere.
You were created by
That's
a
true.
kobold.
You were created for bad.
That's true.
After seeing him openly weep, though, none of Tamor's groups asking him like any questions.
Crybaby.
It's, I guess it's not that far from here. I mean, a few days. Ambrose. 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 It was Ambrose, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you would be Ambrosian.
Ambrosian.
Yes.
Oh. And how many days has there been no communication from Ambrose?
You are close to 150 miles away from where you should be.
Wait, from his destination?
With
or
my
from where he
experience
came
with
from?
travel.
Not his destination. He's much closer to his destination than that. But from his home, he is well over 150 miles away. So if it's 2 days travel to Drimport, you would kind of start
Like
to
2 weeks travel.
Yes. Do you have knowledge geography? No. Do you have survival? No. Okay. Then you're not sure. Yeah.
Well,
So,
survival
what you're saying
With
is
my
well in
knowledge
character.
of
Yes.
traveling, with all the traveling that I do,
If anybody else would like to roll geography, did you say Ambrose? Okay. With anybody else that has knowledge geography,
Only if being from
I know
Dreamform
survival.
grants me any bonuses.
13?
I'm not there.
you heard of it. You know it's up north, and it's kind of that moment where you're like, "Isn't that far?" Like, kind of thought, but you don't know how far. You just know it's not here.
So you weren't created by the kobold?
no.
He's
I have no affiliation.
This is too much for me to take in at this time.
Were you hoping that I was?
I mean, we just added lying to his list of sins. It's very upsetting. Murder, lying, threats, theft. It's just too much.
Attempted to.
Oh, the kobold.
The kobold.
They never got around to actually
too much.
stealing.
They tried.
They really did.
They stole some hit points,
I can attest to that
2 at a time.
too many times.
I settle back down.
The wagon train continues on for most of that day. The conversation does kind of start to pick up amongst the other travelers.
Carrie.
You see a boy, maybe about 5 or 6, comes like jogging up beside the wagon next to you, right? He begins to chatter and like ask you way too many questions, way too fast. He says, I didn't see much of the battle, but is it true that you just appeared out of the air? Are you magic? Are you like some kind of wizard? Or maybe like a genie that can grant wishes? That would be great. That'd be so cool. You see this middle-aged woman come up and she like gently kind of corrals him back in. She's like, he's just very excited about everything that he saw and shouldn't have. She looks down at him and goes, I wasn't peeking too much, he says. He says, besides, I haven't seen like actual heroes in battle before, he says, looking up at his mom. She says, well, now you have, sweetheart. Come on, let's go back into the middle of the caravan.
He was
Where
too
it's
shy to
safe.
approach the blood-soaked.
Yeah. She's too smart to approach the blood-soaked.
Heroes.
I am sitting in there fixing myself up as best I can.
Yeah, no.
I don't know what happened, so don't ask me anything.
Wait.
I was being sarcastic.
The sun begins to lower as you continue on your journey into the evening. I have notes. I have so many notes.
Entering Blackberry Farm.
I was about to. Did you just need to leave? Or...
You find yourself sitting at the bar of the inn as Apris and Mithra are speaking with you, Kavram, and Shalina and Bariv. They're kind of asking questions about what happened last night and hearing you out about your encounter with Bob. Okay? Apris is tall, even for a woman, standing a little over 6 feet tall. She has her hair cut short on the sides, and it's kind of long on top and combed to one side. She's a woman probably in her mid to late 50s. She is as hard of a worker as anyone you have ever met. Running this place as a business, but being much more hands-on than her sister, Mithra. Mithra is more of like the brains of the operation. She deals with the finances, and she's usually the one you come to with questions about how you should run things rather than practical uses.
Right.
She has thick, voluminous blonde hair with streaks of gray appearing in them. She is more jovial than her sister, giving her those wrinkles on the side of her face and kind of in the corners of her mouth. Both of them are wearing nice attire, but kind of like that durable, well-worn kind of, we also work with our workers kind of thing. So, Kavram kind of pipes up in the middle of this conversation. He says, I don't trust it. I don't trust him, and I don't trust that monster, he says. I don't think we need to pursue this any further. We need to hire mercenaries and deal with it the next time it shows up.
I'm checking a watch I don't have.
I see you sarcastically looking at your wrist like it has some kind of mechanism that I'm unfamiliar with.
To tell the time, to figure out when I cared. You really wanted to break your other arm? Or like...
I was unprepared. I didn't know.
And the second time you were prepared and it threw a scythe into the next field over.
Bear goes, it did that thing. We seen it.
We still don't know where it is, by the way. I look towards the two bosses to sort of be like, give them that, like, we have now lost a tool that we have to replace.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a...
Shalina says, I think it's at least worth investigating. However, with Kavram's arm out of commission, the place still needs workers. Half of us are too young to be pursuing giants.
I'm also, unfortunately, here to kind of agree with Kavram.
Kavram, like,
Yes, we need to hire mercenaries, but not to murder. They don't always have to murder things. We can help find the giant, help save the child, and if there are kobolds attacking, I don't know, caravans or whoever may be on the road, we could stop that too. Make this a safer place for people to come in. Do you want people to attack people on the road here and then us lose business?
Mithra says, we have lost bushels of blackberries. We have lost bushels of other fruits and things that it has taken, and now one of our calves is dead. Do you think if we solve this, if we were to pay mercenaries to fight a giant, and how expensive that would be, would it compensate for the loss that we are experiencing?
Yes, the giant isn't the brains behind the operation here. Trust me, after talking to it, it was not smart enough to realize to take things from where it has. There's something smarter behind it.
Right, but how much would a mercenary cost?
5
5 gold? 10 gold?
I don't know. I don't know costs. I woke up in a field two weeks ago.
Apris says, we're very aware.
I'm reminded every day, trust me, you. But I'm sure you two probably know a number to throw at them. How much do you charge for a good bottle of wine?
She says, our best bottle of wine is a silver.
So, a gold a person.
But 1 gold for a giant?
1 gold to stop a problem.
I would imagine, Mithra says, it would be difficult to explain the situation to any mercenary who is more interested in just slaying this giant. Would you be willing to spearhead this if it came to that?
Sure. I feel like my skills would be much more attuned to that.
Kavram says, whoa, 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 why does he get to spearhead the
You
operation?
broke your arm and threw a scythe at...
You're not a fighter.
I just pat my chain on my side. You don't know what I'm capable of. I haven't had to show you yet.
Shalina says, "Are you confident that you can pull this off?"
It would depend on the group of people. I'm being motioned to get closer to my buddy Amos.
It would depend on the people.
Some sort of anti-paladin, if you will.
Ooh, an anti-paladin. That's so much scarier.
Mm,
What about an Uncle Paladin?
Good night, folks.
never mind. We don't need
That's
to.
the cutoff point, by the way, for the episode, is that.
Okay. It's actually time to. Anyways,
You're welcome, Nicole.
why her?
Yes, she has.
You've been asking for puns.
Okay. Sure. It would depend on the group and if we got enough and what they were capable of.
She says, "Then, for everything that you have done so far and everything that you are willing to take care of," she says, "we will compensate you for." She says, "It is only fair." Kabram says, "I broke my..." She says, "You shut up." He kind of like steps back because Mithra like rarely ever has that tone with him, right? Apris kind of like beams with a smile that her sister is like standing up for herself. She says, "You'll be compensated for it. The cost will go to whatever group you deem best. And if you do solve it," she says, "you'll have a permanent home here, whether you want to stay here or move on to bigger and better things."
We'll see where the winds take.
As you say that, you hear barking outside, booming from a large mastiff.
Just eyes immediately roll.
As Tamor,
Nothing the same.
as Tamor calls out, he says, "And we have arrived!" You hear like boom from the outside. You all have been passing vineyards for quite some time, these blackberry vines. They're domesticated, so they have no thorns to them. And very few birds seem to be bothering them. You do not know why. As you pass through these rows of vines, you do see a 2-story inn. This inn is impressive. It looks relatively new, well kept, and pristine in its kind of lawn care and how well everything around it is manicured. As you begin to approach this place, the door opens up as you see a half-elf greet all of you, and Shalina smiles. And she says, "Welcome, travelers." Sir, welcome, adventurers. She says, "Welcome, travelers, to the Blackberry Inn," she says, as she kind of scans the group and sees what kind of shape you are in. She says, Doc? Doc,
Yeah?
she calls. "I think your services are needed."
Just hang my head low and turn around, and my eyes would immediately flash that like pale green magical color as I scanned the group.
Oh, I'm good.
We didn't rest, right? Like we were just
No.
continued marching.
Also, I am going to say you are fatigued.
I'm fatigued.
Because when we started that, it was the only like real sleep you'd had, and even then it was
Yeah.
scarce. And so everything is just now catching up to you. And
Makes sense.
Is there anyone below half? Anyone below like 4? Okay.
you kind of step out and you see this group, and it is very apparent that a battle had taken place. Suddenly, like with you all, the caravan, the workers of the Blackberry Inn, there starts to be a lot of conversation and a lot of talking taking place.
So you all just see this scarred tiefling with horns just approach out of the inn
if
wearing a
you-
surgeon's coat.
If you come out, I'm going to ask you just straight away, do you or anyone here worship Desna?
Who is Desna?
That answers that question. And then I look at the, I guess, the person that's
Wouldn't
the
there
innkeeper.
Shalina.
Shalina, thank you.
She is not the innkeeper.
She was on that brig. That's
Yes.
That's who you're referring to, right?
I don't know who I'm referring. I'm referring to anybody. Like, literally anybody.
There's a bunch of people. out there.
Literally anyone.
Do you know Desmond? Do you know Desmond?
Roll me a d6.
Oh no.
You know about Desmond.
messed up.
we talked to you about
2?
it.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's Shalina.
Okay. Was it always gonna be?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So I look at her and I'm like, "Do you or anyone here worship Des now?"
We do have a place of prayer for travelers, but I don't specifically.
But do you know anyone here that does?
No.
Okay, then never mind. Okay.
A brief
I am
second.
I'm actively looking for a place to bury her under her normal burial rites.
That is
So-
being discussed right now between Apris and Mithra, because they're bringing in a corpse to this place on their property, and they're asking, can we do this because it's a safe place? She was traveling, and we don't think, she's going to. And Desnian worshippers don't have a location,
They
so
don't care about hallowed ground.
correct. Yeah, it's like beneath the stars, somewhere nice, so. That's a conversation that's going on.
If I may, my frog-based friend, anyone who is injured, please gather around. I'm going to do something I've never had to do before. I look at Shalina. It's like, you. I hold up my hand. You would see a gold chain tattoo on my wrist, snapping my fingers. Everyone gets healed for 6 points of health.
Dope.
And that's how you do that.
That's how you
I'm
do it.
instantly fully better as if nothing bad had happened.
And it would sound like chains rattling around and scattering all over the
In
place.
a burst of gold that emits from the chain, you feel a wash of, oh, that's better, come over you.
Oh, that's better.
So that's how that works. I've been wanting to know.
Selena You could do that this whole time?
Apparently.
Caveron's like,
Did you gather around?
well, it wouldn't fix a broke arm.
Right.
But, you tended to him before, and, you could have done that.
You never asked.
I
You don't like him.
Miss
I kind of look.
Innkeeper, is there by chance a botanist or someone knowledgeable of plants I could speak with about a strange sort of
Stops.
plant?
Which one do you ask?
Shalina, the one who
Shalina?
created this.
Okay. She says, as a matter of fact, I might be able to help you.
I reach back into the wagon and bring out what's left of it and caterpillar. Is that
Do I see the caterpillar?
Yes.
I do have knowledge points.
Ooh, roll that.
Ooh, a great 12. Okay. I rolled a 5, so.
I happen to know the CR of the thing, and it is, it is above that.
it has a CR?
Everything
Okay.
has a CR.
The critter itself has a CR.
I go just right
Everything
the
has a
caterpillar.
Oh, he didn't go with a 12, so its CR is higher than you.
I don't actually go to strike. The
I didn't
caterpillar.
think so.
Say this.
Oh.
Sorry.
She tilts her head, examining it. She says, "This looks like it used to be a star leaf."
It's obviously been injured. How do I take care of it?
The plant?
Yes.
Oh, it's been eaten. By that, I assume
It's
it's
been eaten?
the plant? Yeah.
I thought it was stripped.
The
You
things
thought
do
you
that
mean
when
that
they
thing
eat.
ate it?
She says, "I'd assume these
Overnight?
are insect bites," she says, holding up the veins as they just kind of droop.
So, and I very gently pick him up. It's like, so what about him then? What is he?
That is a caterpillar.
Yes, but I've never seen one this color before.
It is a neat caterpillar,
With-
she says.
With a 12, would I have been able to tell, that is from this plane of existence, or...
I will give you that is not from the material plane.
Well, Shalina, that's not from here. It's probably from there, or down, or up, or wherever you people believe the gods come from.
Huh?
That's extraplanar. Not from this plane. I'm sorry. I'm used to dealing with stupid people. And I would just move on and see if there's anyone else who was injured.
I have an 18 intelligence. I'm not stupid.
You don't know what a caterpillar is. It's all he
No,
knows.
what type caterpillar?
Real quick question. What's your strength?
18.
Okay.
Why?
You rolled well, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
I rolled.
I was going to say, did you put all of your points into intelligence?
No, I rolled well.
What's your con?
Charisma's more important.
18. I rolled
What's your charisma?
18.
What kind of...
I had a great
Did
roll.
you record these?
Yes. No, I didn't record them, but
That's why you were like, oh, I struck him with a 5, and Berta was like, no, that's an 84.
no, that's also the first time I hit him with my.
Everything?
No, my wisdom's only 11, my dexterity is only 12.
I would have about to say 17 for one shot.
Baller stats.
Real quick, though, I feel
It's
like
Amos.
if we could trust anyone, it'd be Amos.
No, it's not a matter of that. I was just thinking of like
The odds of
I would
that.
swap that wisdom and intelligence.
That's why I never deleted this character off of here, even though I knew I was going to have to eventually use paper.
Uh-huh.
I created that. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to keep him
True.
forever.
However, it does fit more with Amos, though. I
Yeah.
feel like it's easier for Amos to roleplay a very intelligent, low wisdom character, but that's just what I
Wait,
say.
what are you saying?
That you're very intelligent.
That's exactly what he said.
I,
Halfway.
if I may,
That's exactly half of what he said.
wherever Kava's body is, like the moment I heard the word there is a body, I would like to inspect it to see the exact cause of death.
You might.
You'll
I
check.
wish I could roll stats like
Yes.
that.
So that's a nat 20
Holy crap.
for a 29.
So with a nat 20, rather than just saying she's been poisoned, you recognize that. That is a dark cap shroom poison. You don't know why you know that. It grows. It grows in the Underdark. Solely in the Underdark. It is a favored poison among drow. This poison, if administered, will slowly, mechanically speaking, will take away Constitution. It does con damage. And it won't stop until you've made 3 consecutive saves. So theatrically, however you want to interpret that, that's how it works mechanically.
Could I specifically tell how long she had been dead? With the 29?
Oh, yeah. She has been dead for maybe just less than 24 hours.
Okay. Is it obvious?
She
Like-
didn't have a very high con score, and it'll affect her until she makes 3 consecutive saves, which she never did.
Is it obvious who the caravan leader is?
Oh, yes. And I would also say, like, you've heard them talk about him. You know who Tamor is. You've just never met him.
I'm looking for a Tamor.
Yeah, the dog kind of, like, reacts to the name. He says, yes, I know. He spins and he trots up to you.
Of course you're a Tamor.
Even on dog, he's, like, just up to your chest, right?
Uh-huh.
And he says, and how may I help you, my tiefling friend? Also, I would like to point out that it's not uncommon in this world to go your entire lives without seeing a tiefling. They're very rare. And so to see one like this and to be so less human in appearance is like truly a staggering thing. His demonic heritage, like
Jarring.
yes,
Appearance.
his infernal heritage, excuse me,
Demonic is fine.
is shining through more than normal.
Very fresh. Of course it's you. Just so
Of course it's me.
Just so you know, she was poisoned by typically drow poisoning, a dark cap mushroom. It eats away at the blood, thickens it, makes it harder for the heart to pump, so on and so forth.
Ah. Then I figured it out. Mina was drow.
Who's
Mina?
Never mind. I go back to like you because you were more concerned. Did you overhear what I said to your mastiff riding friend, or do I need to repeat it to you?
I'm gonna assume that I heard it, just so you.
Okay. Do you know, was there a drow with you?
Yes, she went missing right after. It was pretty much already determined.
Cool. You
That
didn't
she-
happen to see a giant carrying a dead cow, did you?
What?
Hmm?
Oh, what?
I've heard a lot of weird things today,
I've seen a lot of weird things.
and that's. No, I haven't. For the short of it.
Okay, his name is Bob, by the
Barrow
way.
goes, a cat.
It's an
Don't you
important-
have some berries to pick?
No, that's a very important distinction. No, I have yet to see a calf in giant hands.
Mostly they're on their legs.
I think you have some berries to pick.
I'm gonna go pick some
Yeah.
berries.
You are quite wise.
I have a new best friend.
You can go with it.
Let's go pick some berries.
Won't move.
I look at the.
You pick a bushel, you pick 2 bushels, you get to keep one.
No, you.
That's.
You have to work.
That I will
I
let you
continue
and Manera
looking at
deal with that.
Damon and the caterpillar, and I'm just like, that's okay.
Your friend Kava, the drow is actually poisoned her, or I assume if there was a drow with you.
Yeah.
The poison that was used on her was specific to drow.
If anybody has knowledge nature of it, you can roll it.
You don't have that, do you?
Is it 22?
With the 22, the word drow gets tossed around. She wasn't really... She was very short if she was a drow. And from everything that you saw, she didn't look drow. But you couldn't tell. She kept most of her features hid the entire time. But she did have ashen-colored skin, which is a drow feature. So, like, you have your doubts that she might have been drow, but you don't know what she was.
But
Schnurf Nurglin?
that doesn't.
She might have been on her free time.
But that doesn't change anything about. Okay, this is somebody that disappeared after she
That,
died.
what-
so like,
that doesn't change what she might
Yeah.
have done. That she looks very suspicious that she disappeared after this.
so I keep referring to her as a drow, even if I know.
The poison also would have taken time to do its work. It's not an instantaneous
But
kill.
isn't that 20? Does he know exactly how often it does those checks?
Like, would I've known
It
how...
would be every round.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's
Oh.
that fast. It's a
Yes.
fast acting.
It is
I
like
thought it was like once every 20.
But not instantaneous. Like, she could have done the poisoning, stepped away, and no one not been around.
She would have died in her sleep.
So that's why I would let you know that fact about that poison.
this is like one of the most potent poisons. in Pathfinder.
Yeah, I just know a lot of them have like a 24-hour interval on their saves. That, wow, last
The save isn't like ridiculously high, but the fact that it does con damage every round
I
until
wanna
you
get
save
this
3 times. Yeah.
When you say giant, how big are we talking?
8 feet.
Like that big?
Actually, yes.
Oh my!
Weeps.
What?
He cries a lot.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
I
I
mean,
didn't understand.
That's not a measurement of scale.
no, I
Well,
still haven't seen this.
I mean, I would too if my child was
More of a
abducted
measurement
by
character.
kobolds.
We have seen a kobold.
Yeah.
Neat. Shalina, the kobolds, are they usually a certain color? I almost said the color I think the kobold was, but
Are they usually blue? How do you know? She says something.
She's seen them before with a plus 20 on her roll.
She says in this area they're usually green or red.
neat.
This one was blue.
That's not unheard of. She says typically blue is a recessive trait. It'll show up in a warren of kobolds maybe once every couple generations.
Either way, he was heading west from here, so if he came from the south or the north, whichever direction you're coming from, you probably didn't run into him.
We came from the west. didn't we?
Interesting.
Yes.
Northwest, kind of.
Yes.
So this is all really interesting. Is there a place I can rest?
Oh, absolutely. Who says that? Somebody says it. April says. April says, yes. She says, by the way, your first night here is on the house. She says, a meal will be prepared for all of you, and you will all be able to sample our blackberry wine. She says, please come in and clean up. Shalina will show you all like where to go to clean up and everything. She's like, wring that out. It's not mine. It's partly mine.
Is the place where we all clean up separated from everybody, or
It is outside. It's by the well. They'll get like a bucket and allow all of you to do whatever you need to do to to like straighten up before you go into the inn.
okay?
Do you drop
So
trow
you
to clean
can
yourself?
seclude yourself.
I would seclude myself.
Okay.
Do you mind if I sleep outside?
You don't have to, she says.
I would like to.
Would you like a blanket or maybe a small cot? I mean, a cot?
You say these words and it's like they don't
Rich,
phase him at all. No, I'm perfectly comfortable outside.
Okay. She said, you're welcome.
I would like to sleep in the inn, if that's all right.
Absolutely, she says. Well, would you be joining us for dinner?
What will you have?
She says, tonight we're having pheasant. You fill the bag, start to freak out a little bit.
I will not. However,
It calms down.
would it be okay if my friend here, and I point to Rayado, has some?
Well, of course, she says.
Okay, cool.
She says familiars and animal companions, of course, will be fed.
Fantastic. Then I will go out and eat bugs, but he will enjoy them.
That is gonna bug you for the rest of the day.
She says, if you are interested, she says, it is the time of the year where beetles have started to eat on the blackberries. She says, I'm sure they would be in abundant supply.
I will go take care of this problem for you. Free of charge. And I hop off, or just like slap my feet on the ground off. Yeah.
Looking the froggish form of
I'm
Lee.
keeping my eye on you though. Like, not in a threatening way, but in like a,
Literally.
Right.
I'm keeping my eye on.
Well, I'm about to go inside and find a
Yeah,
room.
you're gonna have to sleep inside tonight.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
On his window.
It's a game. Freak frog. Just like,
Sorry, that was
good.
That
was great.
Just making sure the moth is safe.
There was one when I lived up in Lafayette. There was one on the window whenever I looked up off the computer, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
there was one on a basketball goal one time, and I threw the ball and it hit the back rim, and when it fell, it screamed. And I didn't know they could scream. That was sound.
Did I tell you about the one that fell onto my truck while I was leaving?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that scared the just dickens out of me. I was about to swear, and I was like, no, I need to keep that in.
So
Really?
you all begin to bed down for the night. They have a blackberry pheasant for dinner. It has this kind of like blackberry sweet sauce over it with some boiled potatoes off to one side and some like greens to the other. You enjoy this very delicious meal. I would say that you are awoken to be offered this.
Yes.
And okay.
I look into my pack to see if there's anything to change into. And unfortunately, there's no formal attire. So I do the best I can to like straighten up as I'm used to doing, making sure everything's like tucked prim and proper, and
Despite being fatigued, old habits die hard.
Yeah.
And you feel like you have to do
because I can be scolded if I'm not presentable
Mhm.
for dinner.
Even though it is offered to you in your room not to come down. They brought,
Oh, I come down.
they brought it to you. Okay.
Yeah. Eat in your room? What is this? The Middle Ages?
Father would not tolerate food in the room.
Daddy.
That's how you get ants.
Do you want ants? Because that's how you get Role play. I'm looking for something.
Oh, I
Wait, we're rolling. And we're playing!
So I'm gonna try to get you, like, when we're like just you and me alone. And I'm gonna be like, Kava tasked you to watch over the plant.
That's what she hired me to do.
She also asked me to watch over the plant.
Oh. You should have said something.
Yeah, I don't know who all has been asked to watch over this plant.
I too have.
Well, there's not much left of it because that caterpillar ate it.
I don't really think the plant is what is important. I think it's the caterpillar.
Extra planar. I don't know what it is, and he doesn't. That tiefling doesn't know either.
I've lived in the jungle my entire life. I've never seen anything like that caterpillar. I've eaten lots and lots of caterpillars, and I've never seen one like that.
I don't know if I want you watching over this.
I will not eat the caterpillar.
Well, what are we gonna feed
Does he
it?
lick his lips as he says it?
Blackberry bushes?
I don't know what kind of plant it was that it ate. Those that star leaf and everything, but
I did pass a knowledge nature on that last session, so like I know what the plant was. Yeah. So I go ahead and start
do
explaining.
we have to find one of those for it to eat every night or something?
I don't know.
It's not doing much. Big
Knowledge
stars
nature
to
on
death.
finding, like knowing where this would be or survival.
What do you take on a 10?
For knowledge nature or survival?
Nature.
16.
16. Typically, caterpillars aren't picky, especially against any like leaves that aren't waxy or coarse. And so, like blackberry leaves, or even the local leaves around, like or even grass.
I was about to pocket.
But
some
this is
lettuce
an
for dinner.
extra planar caterpillar.
Correct, but she doesn't have. But he, to his best knowledge, something.
Something soft and succulent.
So if I just took him some lettuce from the dinner table, would
Yep.
that work?
Probably.
Let us find out.
They're new parents.
Yeah, follow you home.
Please don't.
Okay. Well, if you find out anything, let me know because I'm doing the best I can.
I will help as much as I can. Like I said, I know many things about the forest, trees, the weather. Gozra is good, but outside of that, I know nothing about this caterpillar.
When we get to Dremport, we're immediately gonna go see the Desvian temple and offload it on them. Let it be their problem.
She did say, no, I'm not even gonna bring that up.
Oh, what didn't she say?
I was gonna bring up the point that she said it could sell for a lot, and I was like, no, it's not something that he would have said. She said, okay, I agree with this.
Okay. Well, yeah. And if I find anything, I'll let you know.
At some point, I would have approached this because I based on what the owner said, right? I would have found the guy in full armor and the guy with the giant warhammer on his side and be like, those are obviously adventuring types.
So if you start coming up, then I would leave. Like I would, because I
Right.
really wanted to have that conversation.
I would have given you the space, realizing that you're in some sort of heated new parent discovery discussion. But as you go to leave, I would approach you and be like, "My good sir, I don't mean to assume much, but you look to be someone who has made well use of that sword of yours."
Sure. Are you asking me if I've killed people?
Not people, but use it to defend based on your shield.
Yes.
I am needing help with that weeping giant issue. We can talk tomorrow at breakfast.
Okay.
If you know of anyone else in the caravan that is capable fighters.
Well, I mean, we're attacked by bandits, but
Where?
it's back on the trail. Well, long story. You wanted to talk in the morning about it?
Yes, if anyone who is able and willing to fight. We are the berry farms have been plagued by ambushes by this weeping giant, and he talked of lizard people, and you mentioned the kobold, or he mentioned, or the child that you run around with mentioned.
Oh, we're gonna leave him with here. We're not dragging a kid with us across God's creation.
How tall are you, Lincoln?
2'12". 5'10".
You might be surprised who you see. You're talking to a half demon. You were just talking to a frogman about the caterpillar from the extra dimensional plane.
Still not the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Sure. not everyone is as they appear.
So you
Well,
got the
we'll-
facial
we'll
features
talk in the
of a
morning.
kid, but you're 5'10"?
But for me, for the right price,
Delaney is fine.
I'm down.
I would have also had that same conversation with Ragnar, saying,
Oh, I was in my room.
"Oh,
I was nowhere near any of this.
He comes to your room and has that same conversation.
You're gonna come to my room.
Door to door.
Is he naked? Are you naked in there?
No.
I would have
Naked.
tried to
He
find
was
you."
naked before he went.
Oh, no.
At some point, yes.
If
I
I
was
can't,
born, so at some point before
If I
that, I
can't-
was in the room. I was
Why
like,
does this happen?
if I can't find you, I will talk to you tomorrow. For
yeah,
now.
that's fine. The only thing I would do would be to try to talk to the kid and figure out a little bit about him. That'd be
It
it.
would be during dinner
Mhm.
because he would be.
At
I
dinner.
was gonna say I would have attended if there was one, like the communal
Have we
dinner
done-
rather than the food in the room.
Yes.
Have we skipped over that yet, or is that to come?
What?
Dinner.
Dinner?
Dinner.
Depends.
Okay.
You can dine if you'd like.
Google dime.
I would go to the dinner room to see if he was even there.
You do see him kind of like carrying a plate as if it had already been served to him and he's bringing it in kind of straight